What's up, everyone? Back to another video. This week's training log is week 3 of the off season. I finally started getting some throwing in, so you'll see that in this video. Let me know in the comments or whatever if you guys want to see the throwing and the lifting on the same video, or if you want me to break it up like I had been doing. Because this video is a little bit long. I mean, it's like 17, 18 minutes long, something like that. And so if some of you guys want to watch shorter videos, that'd be just throwing or just the lifting. Let me know if you want to see them all together, whatever. But let's get into it. So we're starting off doing cleans. Like I said last week, we're going to be doing cleans twice a week because my cleans aren't good. And so I guess the only way to make them better is to do more of them and have a higher frequency. So at the beginning of the week, we're starting off with I guess it's very similar to how I would program cleans for like strength. Like we're doing like heavier cleans. So these are at about 90, 95% or something of my training max. And then later in the week, you'll see me do a bunch more sets. And in the description, I'll put my sets and reps for everything for every training day in the description, so you guys can have like kind of a baseline. Because I did not film all my accessories, and like I guess for the second clean day, I'm doing like 7 sets of the my top set. So that's a lot. That'll make for a very long video if I put all those sets in there. So I just filmed 1 or 2 and left those in, and the rest I didn't film. But I will have a description below of all of the sets and reps that I do. So like I said before, cleans twice a week, and we're putting one of those on the push press day. I decided to put it on the push press day because I'm not too concerned with my push press. Like I'm not really. It's always kind of working. It's always kind of going up. Even when I was doing like that the last 2 weeks of kind of building into training regularly again and kind of pushing weight, I never had an issue with my push press. So I figured if like we're gonna add some more work in, do it on that day. That's a very solid day to do it on. And also on that push press day, we're adding in that second bench press. Give more volume on the bench press, and I added it to the push press day as well. Because why not? So as you see here, I'm throwing again. Pretty excited about that. This first day, I threw twice this week. I wanted to do 3, but I just didn't have the time. I planned on doing it on a Saturday, the third day, but I had family come up. We had, you know, family time, so didn't end up doing that, which is okay. 2 is plenty for right now. And 3 would be a stretch, I guess. But if I can get 3 in, yay for that. But 2 is what we're aiming for. I'm doing a lot of stand throws, a lot of stand throws. In this practice, I throw the 20, I throw the 16, and then I do some half turns with the 16 and do some full throws with the 16 as well. But starting off, it's with the 20, pretty much a standard Braemar practice. I did get a new wrist strap. Pretty excited about that. It's a roadie strap. They're very good, very simple. A lot of elite shot putters use them, so I figured, well, if it's good enough for them, it's got to be good enough for me. So I tried it out, and it's different than using like kind of a weightlifting strap for throwing. It takes like a minute to get used to. That wasn't the biggest thing I had to get used to. If you notice in my hand, I am using the roadie bear glove. It's like a little 3-fingered mitten for your hand. And I got it to try it out, see if it'll help my shot put, my open stone, and my Braemar, because those are 2 events I really want to build up. I think I can. I think I could do a lot better than I had been doing. So we're going to try to find tools that'll help facilitate that training, and one of them is that bear glove. And like, They say it's really good for like throwing a heavy ball, especially like in an off season type scenario. And so I was like, well, that kind of works for me. I throw a heavy ball a lot, so why not get it? But I think because I throw outdoors in the wintertime, the best thing that that glove is doing for me is keeping the cold off of my fingers. It's a thick leather palm that I think when it gets really cold, because it hasn't yet, real soon it's going to start getting cold. Um, I think it's just going to help me get more throws in. Because in previous years, I would wear a rubber palmed glove, and sometimes I just use that in a wrist wrap, and then other times I will use that leather palm, or sorry, not leather, rubber palmed glove, and I will tape my fingers like I normally do, and that's usually pretty good. The only downside with that is when you tape your fingers for the shot put, it cuts off a lot of circulation. So when you're dealing with a lot of like cold hands and cold fingers, you're not getting any blood flow to those fingertips, and you're just choking it off. They get cold way faster and they hurt way more, especially when you take that tape off and you get that blood coming back into your fingers. Like, it's uncomfortable. It's not completely unmanageable. It's just uncomfortable. So I figured that Bear Glove will kind of fill a void there. Maybe I can use my like a thin um, glove, and in conjunction with that roadie Bear Glove. We'll see. We'll mix and match things. We'll try stuff out, see what works. But we're throwing all winter, so got to find some way to keep warm. Little tips and tricks that you got to find to keep warm. But all in all, like this first throw session, just wasn't great. Um, I was really just getting back into it and like getting used to pushing on a ball a bunch. It sometimes like your fingertips and your wrist take a beating from throwing the shot put this many times. And I meant to throw heavyweight on this day as well, but at first I misjudged my time, and I ran out of time to get that in, which is okay. I wasn't really looking forward to throwing the 56, so I guess I lucked out there. And then we go from there. Same day, it's a squat session with the safety squat bar. The past 2 weeks, I've been programming off of a higher weight. Now that we're kind of on a specific program, we're getting a little bit more dialed in. The weights are a little bit lower than they were last week, um, and that's just because I got a better idea of where my strength levels are at. I didn't test or retest a one rep max. I just kind of um, did some calculations in my head and looked at what I'm doing and what like what I can consistently program off of to where I'm getting all the reps on each set, that I'm not failing. Um, because failing sets sucks. You're missing out on a ton of work that you could be getting in. If you could be, you're missing out on a ton of work if you're not programmed off the right weight. So I'm in the ballpark. Could be a little light, but I'm not too worried about it right now. Um, like every block, every 2 blocks, we're moving the weight up, ideally. Um, but on the squat day, like I don't have a bunch of accessories. I do the main squat. I do my accessory like 5 by 10. Actually, on the squat, I can't handle that kind of volume on my legs apparently, so I'm only doing like 3 by 10s on those days, and then a good morning. I always do good mornings. I don't know. I always feel like that's just a good exercise to always have in. To me, it's kind of like a pull up. Always have pull ups like programmed in. Well, speaking of pull ups, I don't have pull ups programmed in right now because in this new garage gym, I don't have a pull up bar set up yet. That should have been one of my number one things to do, but I didn't do it. So, but good mornings are good to go. I always like to keep them. Then the next day, we're out at the field again. The second throws practice of the week. This one actually went a whole lot better. Because if you guys know, if you don't know, I track every single one of my throws. Every practice throw, every competition throw, most drills I measure. I have a number of every throw that I've done for the entire year, pretty much. Up about 90% of what I do, I know what I'm doing. And the only thing I really don't track are warm up throws in competition because that's ridiculous. Who's going to do that? But that's like three throws 10 times a year. But on this practice, actually, it was last practice, last when I was doing the like a stand throw with the 16-pound shot. I kind of had a breakthrough of like how I want my stones to feel. They don't look much different if you compare the ones from last week or last session to this one. They don't look much different, but they feel a ton different, and they're going on average 2 feet further because I felt that little twist, that little push that I was looking for. I was really excited about. I was like, this is what I've been chasing. This is what I've been after. And then we go into some, full rotational open stone. Again, I've talked about this before. I am moving to the rotational technique for open stone. Is it the smartest move? And should everyone try to do this? No, because it takes a lot of work. If you don't have like a shot put background, like I don't, like I'm having to put in a ton of work that I could be giving it to another event. I could be working my wob a little bit more. I could be working on my heavyweight a little bit more if I was doing a simpler technique like an MSA or a glide. And I say glide's an easier technique. It's kind of not. Once you get down to like the nitty gritty of it, a glide is actually kind of a hard technique to do. But I'm working on it. Um, by the end of this off season, I'm gonna have 1,000 reps in on the um, the open stone, and so ideally that would build some consistency and kind of get me to where I want to be with it. And where I want to be with it is just have it good enough to be in competition, to where I'm not fouling out every time, but I'm actually hitting a decent number. Like a PR would be great. We all want those. But if I can remain consistent in it and continue to build off it year after year, because that's kind of what we're looking for. It's just year after year progression. But that's kind of it on the open stone. Then we go into the heavyweight for distance, or sorry, lightweight for distance. Um, this was actually really, it was a bad practice because everything was technically a foul. I'm finishing both feet out. But keep in mind, this trig that I'm using, it's like 6 inches shorter than it should be. But I practice on that small trig, so when I get to like a normal size one, I will hopefully stay in. But this was kind of just like a session just to get back into throwing the lightweight because it's been, oh gosh, a good month before since I've had like a real practice with it where I'm like diagnosing and correcting things and stuff like that. So not too worried about the numbers or like how good it looks and whatnot. This is kind of getting a baseline to again build off of. And one thing I noticed on there, and should talk about this while it was happening, but you go back and look at it. I was over rotating on my first turn. Ideally, like on that first turn, I was catching it to where my left foot was kind of like heel toe with my right foot. And so if I spin off of my left foot like you're supposed to do, be on your toe in a really dynamic position to keep spin off of that left toe as you sprint forward to the front. You're going to sprint sideways if you are too far to the left with that one foot. The right foot's where it's supposed to be. It's just that left foot that's over rotating. So I have a couple options to fix that, and that could be make sure I just turn a little bit more shallow or adjust my start position to be a little bit more of a bigger spin. Things I got to work on, things we'll plan on for in the future. So, but that was just the baseline. And then, just your average bench session that went better than expected because I don't know, benches have kind of worried me lately. I just feel like I'm not as strong on the bench as I once was, which is which is true to an extent, but I got the reps I needed to at the number that I prescribed. So yay for that. And then I even added some dumbbell bench in here, and I should have made them heavier because these were at like 50 pounds, 52 pounds or whatever the handles weigh, and just wasn't heavy enough. But I did 3 sets of those for 10 reps and called it good and moved on with my day. And this is the last training day of the week, and it was snatches and cleans, and the cleans went okay. The snatches went not as good, but we're doing just an ungodly amount of reps. We're doing like um, I think 10 total sets, and about 6 sets on my top weight. It was a lot. It was a lot more fatiguing than I thought it was going to be. Um, and I ended with some front squats. But I mean, yeah, it was a pretty good week. It feels good to be back on program. Feels good to be back on the field throwing, at least the practice field. And the weather hasn't gotten super cold yet, so I'm not too miserable out there. But I'm gonna let the rest of this video play out. Uh, Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Do the YouTube thing. If you have any questions about throwing, or my methods in the gym, like stuff that I'm doing, you have more questions on, you can find me on Instagram. It's my name on Instagram. Um, just hit me up there. Again, thanks for watching, and always go far. God bless.